Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Agents of AI. I am your host, Peter Stubbe. I am a community founder and leader of Capto. Capto is a company who creates custom AI agents built for the finance department and beyond. We're very excited to host this program regularly with thought leaders, practitioners, AI enthusiasts, finance leaders, basically a broad inclusion of our network that we feel are excited to highlight. And in any case, the main thing that new listeners or even maybe recent listeners should be reminded is that our guests join us in a fun, anonymized state. So please listen along and focus on their insights to start, but then guess their identity at the end or guess their identity along the way. With that said, I'm going to introduce today's mysterious guest. Please do your best to give a few hints about who you are and what your background is. But again, a reminder here, please don't reveal your name or current company or anything that would give the hints away too much. Looking forward to the conversation with you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for having me today. Now, the way I would describe what I do and who I am is I'm very passionate about the wealth creation process, but with financial intelligence. And I have to say, I've been through all my career. I mean, I've been in finance in general. So what I found is that, the world generates so much wealth. It used to be about $33 trillion in 1998, and now it's 110 trillion. That's amazing, all that kind of wealth created. But our education system are not really helping us at all, because when you become a founder, when you become an entrepreneur, you're on your own effectively. So my passion is really move away from what happens really, with schools, with normal institution. They teach you how to manage wealth, which is, well enough. Okay, everyone has to manage wealth, but what if you do not create wealth? So that's really my biggest passion, and that's why I'm very active in generally speaking, helping people who have a dream about developing their business to really move forward, but with financial intelligence, because unfortunately most of the failure happen when that financial intelligence is not used properly. So that's in a few words what I do.
Excellent. Well, thank you for those quick hints and introductions. I think if I could add one layer on top of this, our mystery guest is also a very prominent figure on LinkedIn and a great follow, but we're going to reveal those actual details at the end. A little bit more about you and your role. I would say kind of maybe we could actually start with, if you don't mind, like what motivates you to continue to be a part of this financial ecosystem. What we kind of make the assertion here that anybody can choose what they want to be in life, and why do you choose the career and the role that you have, mysterious guest? Like what motivates you about it? Yeah.
Well, the speed at which the world is changing, it actually, that speed makes my passion even more relevant. I'll give you an example about the historical moment we have. The S&P 500, which everyone knows about, obviously, is as of today is 90%. The value of the S&P 500 is 90% determined by intangible values. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now that's in 2026. Now, if you go back in time, 1975, that was 17%. So it's gone from 17% to 90%. That's a massive change. Yeah. That's a massive change that happened over the last 2 generations. And the question is, how did we, as a society, as world population, change while this wealth has been generated so differently in the last 2 generations? So in financial intelligence, I would say this needs to step up, in my view, needs to really establish itself as a key leader for this transformation that we all need to engineer, because there have been changes in the last few generations. We've seen really people moving from papers to computers.
Yep.
We've seen people moving from faxes to email. We've seen people moving to the internet, and now we got artificial intelligence to make it even more interesting. So that trend towards more and more intangible value, more and more intellectual property is actually ongoing, and it will not stop. So that's why I'm so passionate about it. Yeah.
Excellent. And this is kind of a related question that we asked to this. I should have maybe even presented it as a two-part. Do you feel that keeping up with that pace of change and that pace of innovation, would that be one of the more underappreciated parts of your role, or what do you feel is the main value that people like yourself bring to the clients that you work with that might not be like the first thing that they appreciate when they start to begin, when they work with you, but maybe at a later stage come to learn is super, super valuable? Do you mind sharing some thoughts there?
Yeah, as you said, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I've been active on LinkedIn for the last 16 years, since 2010. So I built a network there. So I speak to so many people every day. I think I have at least 50 to 100 conversations a day, which sometimes a lot to do. Sometimes what I put across is quite revolutionary, because people think, about why do we need to worry about this now? And what usually happens is that when the outcome eventually is revealed, people understand that this is something they need to really think about. So when you think about, people say, okay, I'm not going to sell my company, therefore I don't care about really creating wealth with financial intelligence. Unfortunately, this is not the way the world works, and the world will give you better customer, better banking relationship, better investor relations if you follow an approach which is much more proactive towards wealth creation. You have to create really what I call it transferable value, because if you don't do that, even if you're not going to sell your business, that you need to do that to have, even to sell more. People might think, oh, I'm going to sell more regardless. Well, not really, because I've seen actually businesses ruining their own intellectual property. They're selling a diamond as if it was a furniture. So yeah, that's one of the things that happen a lot. So it is quite revolutionary. I saw an entrepreneur really going from potentially having a business that was going to be worth $500 million to effectively, unfortunately, going bankrupt. That's what happens when you don't really build wealth with financial intelligence.
Got it. Okay. Well, if we can now pivot the discussion a little bit to the name of the show, Agents of AI, and obviously there's constant information and a lot of details emerging about people's use of AI, and we try to focus on the specific use cases on this program that are helping financial leaders like yourself advance their businesses. And we usually start from the very beginning and ask, what was some of the first uses or some of the first use cases that you may have put into production as a financial leader with AI intelligence layered on top of it? Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Like, what comes to mind when people ask you about your first foray into leveraging AI? Go ahead. Yeah.
I have to say, I come across over the last 2 years, 3 years, I would say since 2023, I came across some really intelligent software that are AI powered, not necessarily the generic AI that you find on ChatGPT or Gemini. And that really helps so much, making research so much faster, creating predictive forecast. I mean, in actual fact, many people forget that the AI has been around for decades. Even the satellite navigator is AI, for example. Yeah. So what I found is that AI has really helped me, for example, to build much better business plans much faster back in from 2023. I was able to do research so much faster about the competitors. However, one of the things that I always say and do, I never take the output from AI as the final output.
Sure.
I tend to use it as an accelerator from my research. Say, for example, if I go into ChatGPT or Gemini, so even if they give me an answer, I like to see the source of the answer. I like to investigate the source. Because the faster I get to the source, the more I'm able to amplify my research. So that was very, very helpful. Another thing that I did actually a few months ago, which was quite revealing about what really AI can do for me, I used it as a real auditing tools against creating official financial statement. And really asking AI, really, can you to double check, the figures. For example, when you do an official financial statement, you got the numbers and you got the note to the accounts. You need to make sure that, let's say, for example, the first page is equal to the page number 5 or 6.
Yep.
Now that gave me such a speed, such a better speed. Correcting a document that, however, would have taken a lot of stress. So I think we are at the beginning of what we need to do for an intelligence use of AI, really.
Got it. And this is something that we hear repeatedly from people with your background, and especially in the financial world. The speed is really nice and the productivity is really nice, but the accuracy is what's most important. And being able to trust the results of the AI and still having that human in the loop layer is something that people repeat very frequently. But then I think you brought up a great point there in terms of the use cases is then focusing more so on increasing accuracy of reporting and less so about just doing more things faster. That's one of the main values, and people should maybe focus on those types of opportunities, less so just more about doing more and more, because more of bad things leads to garbage in, garbage out. So cool. And if you don't mind me then asking, you've already kind of given a preview of some of the stuff that you've worked on more recently with AI. Where do you see it potentially being more impactful in the future in terms of looking ahead to maybe the technology is not quite there, capable of handling it yet, but you see a vision for it being a part of increasing part of financial departments? Does anything come to mind in terms of how future use cases that you could potentially see go into production?
Well, I'll give you an exact business I'm working on at the moment. And let me give you, to start with, two big examples of businesses that fell because of lack of financial intelligence. I saw some really big, unimaginable failure in the last few months. One business was growing very well. The accounting profit were really great. They were growing the net asset position. But they increased their funding gap. Why is that? Is because they didn't really manage their funding gap well. They didn't manage their working capital well. Another business was growing so fast. They were growing at a really supersonic speed. We're talking about 4,000% in 12 months. And they failed as well because they didn't manage the working capital. I'm currently working on an AI agent solution that eliminate 95% of human work that people usually have to do when they collect cash. That is something that will definitely be useful for the 99% of businesses, effectively, because collecting cash and reducing that gap is the value of that is just difficult to to price it, really. So I'm working on that now. In my view, I'll give you a bit of a general view on AI in general. Gartner said that 40% of AI projects will fail. Now, why is that? It's not because of the technology. It's not because there are not enough solutions. Actually, there are so many solutions that businesses have to learn how to keep up with the AI agent. It's because businesses, they are not professionalized enough. And this will cause, unfortunately, founder-centric businesses to be really very much going on the back seat going forward in the economy. Because if you got nothing to document, AI has got nothing to scale.
Yeah.
And if AI got nothing to scale, AI will not help you. Now, I will say this: there are two layers of obstacles to be considered with AI implementation. The first layer is to become AI ready. Okay. Now, most businesses are not ready. Okay, so that's the first layer. Now, once you become AI ready, the second layer I would definitely consider as a major implementation is AI governance. Now, so many people don't take this as seriously as they should. AI governance is going to be a big issue for so many big organizations who have already implemented AI, but they really have to do some work on AI governance. So that's my general view on this. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing those pragmatic thoughts. I think also we hear all these different and see all these different high percentages of the failures of AI projects, and we're hoping that looking forward to 2026, people are starting to take more of those detailed views and focusing on governance and focusing on the right foundations to be successful. Because we're definitely aligned with that. And if we can now conclude with any final thoughts or advice to our listeners in terms of resources that they should be accessing, or tools that they should look into to help further advance their use of AI in their financial departments, what would you recommend to appear?
I have to say, not one particular tool. However, when you sign up, for example, there are so many new software that are emerging. They got their own AI powering, which I found really, really great, because they speed up the work so much. Each software has its own. So what I would say is study how the softwares, the various software providing are working on AI, because what is going to happen in future, I think it's already happening, to be honest. Even the AI, the most well-known accounting software like Oracle, which are obviously more than accounting software, they're really wide enterprise software. Those software, they are implementing AI at really a very supersonic speed. So what I would say, get educated about how they are actually powering the software with AI, and just get educated, because those software companies, they will have to change absolutely their business model. Up until now, they've been thinking like a SaaS, a software as a service model, because they thought, well, we need to get as many users as possible, and then we're going to get as much money as possible from that. But with the AI agent, that's going to really disrupt the model. So those softwares, they have to become so much better at giving you a service that will include an AI aspect that you will have to study. I don't want to really pick one in particular. Yeah. Otherwise, I will be doing some advertisement. However, yeah, there are quite a few. Many people know the ones that they're the biggest one. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, now the most fun portion of the show, we get to reveal your full identity. If you don't mind going back to your settings and simply clicking off the filter that you had selected earlier, and we will let you introduce yourself to the crowd. Go ahead.
Shall I do it now? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Perfect. There, that was quick. All right. The tradition is I don't say your name. I don't say who you are. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself. Yeah.
Well, I've been mysterious so far. All right. Well, yes, my name is Matteo Turi. I've been in finance for 31 years. So yes, I was talking earlier on about my passion for the wealth creation process with financial intelligence. I created a system back in 2017 for a university. Now I call it the high valuation code. Yeah, and the high valuation code is designed to build a business that will be chased by banks and investors, not the other way around. So that's my ambition. And there's a book coming up as well called Fail People Scale. Fail People Scale is not a slogan, it's a cycle. It's a cycle that we all encounter in our life. And I hope you will enjoy it because it's going to have a 26 scorecard. So it's not just a book you read. You're going to have to go back to it many times in your lifetime. It's evergreen. So I hope you will enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matteo. And final shout out for, Matteo is one of our favorite follows on LinkedIn. He's very active, and as you mentioned earlier in the conversation, has been doing this for a number of years and has a significant follower base that is well earned based off all the content and information that he's putting out. So please go follow and connect with Matteo. Keep an eye out for his book, and thank you for joining the program.
You're very welcome. Thank you.